We're in the thick of the 8th anniversary, and part 2 is just right around the corner. Now, everyone thinks part 2 is going to be an LR Kid Buu and an LR Omega Shenron. But I'm here to say that's actually very unlikely, and here's why. To the surprise of many new players, part 2 LRs have not been a thing for every single anniversary. Because technically, we didn't even have LRs for the first anniversary. Our first ever summonable LR was LR Gohan, introduced at the very end of the 2-year anniversary, and I don't even think most people would even consider that to be a part of the anniversary period anyway. But I know some of you like to get technical on me, so I wanted to make sure we clarified that. So the introduction of actual part 2 LR started during the 4-year celebration, and the part 2 LRs during the 4-year celebration actually set up expectations moving forward that would eventually get shattered during the 5th-year celebration. As we can take a look on the Dokkan Wiki, the 4-year celebration, again following up an LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and an LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as the part 1 Dokkan Fest, they gave us a top banner, I think the first ever, like in the history of the game, a top banner that featured 2 brand new LRs actually featured on the banner, LR Baby and the LR GT Trio. This obviously fit the theme nice and neatly and put it all into this beautiful package of an entire GT themed 4-year celebration. And so we said, okay, this is dope. This is probably what they're doing moving forward. Wrong, because 5 years switched it up so much because during the 5th year celebration, they mixed sagas. Technically, if you look into the GT stuff, that was some different sagas mixed in there, but for the most part, it was very much so Dragon Ball GT. However, with this, we had Vegito, who of course is from the Future Saga arc of the anime, and Gogeta, who is from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. 2 drastically different pieces of Dragon Ball there. And so when we got to part 2, everyone, including myself, was so convinced it's obviously going to be a merged Zamasu and a Broly. Now, we got that, kind of, because part 2 for 5 year was an LR Rose and an LR Broly, Chila, and Limo. And it's been 3 years, and somehow we still don't have a full power Broly. Why, Akatsuki? And another crazy thing about 5th year is that everyone loved it. And more specifically, you loved it so much that you want to like this video and you want to get me to 800,000 subs because we're really close. Hey! Then you fast forward to 6th year, part 2 did fit the theme. It wasn't exactly, I think, what everyone thought it would be necessarily. These are definitely probably revered as maybe some of the 2 least hype part 2 LRs, I feel like. These are just there for most people, I feel like. I liked them. I love the art of the Android 17 and Universe 7. I think it's incredible, but definitely more on the wonky side too, just in general, but they still fit the theme. However, you get to 7 year and it changes everything, because 7 year, it was the biggest setup for the biggest Dokkan home run in the history of the game. Omega Shenron, who hasn't had a unit in forever, finally, after so many years, Super Saiyan full power Broly gets an LR. It is just the biggest setup, and Dokkan said no. Saiyan Saga Vegeta, Saiyan Saga Goku, because this is a Goku and a Vegeta celebration. And now here's the thing, I just want to stop you. I actually don't mind these guys as LRs, and I don't even mind them as being a massive part of a huge celebration, because this is one of the most iconic fights in the history of anime in general. But it sucks that they were part 2 gold coin LRs. That's where the issue is, because we all know that Akatsuki, Bandai, all of them hold Dokkan Fest LRs to like a higher standard and gold coins to a much lower standard, therefore basically shafting the Saiyan Saga like main units here. And who knows when we're going to actually get representation from Saiyan Saga again. So that part sucked and threw everyone off. I mean, maybe some people realized it was a Goku and Vegeta celebration, but I think most, including myself, felt like it was the biggest setup to finally give us a new first ever LR Omega Shenron, because the other one's just the Shadow Dragon unit. And then finally, the first ever proper Dragon Ball Super Broly that's an LR without Chila and Limo, and you get good links, hopefully, and really awesome intro animation. It could have had everything. If you guys remember, intros were set up as part of the 7 year. To me, it made the most sense to have an intro animation of Omega becoming Omega, of Broly going Super Saiyan for the first time, and there's so much they could have done. So now we're here, and the theme to me is Spirit Bomb. If you look around at everything, the free-to-play unit, both the new Dokkan Fest LRs, it is so clearly Spirit Bomb. However, the other aspect of it could also just be more GT and more Majin Buu Saga, which does still fit the bill of it potentially being LR Kid Buu and LR Omega Shenron. I want you to let me know right now, which do you want? Of all the things they could do for part 2, which again, from last year, it could be basically anything, realistically. Everyone wants to say they think they know the theme, and unless they said it somewhere and I've missed it, it could be anything. What do you want to see as part 2 for the 8th anniversary? But the way I see it is we have 3 outcomes here that are possible. The first it's still Spirit Bomb themed, and we get more Spirit Bomb units. The second, it is actually Kid Buu and Omega Shenron. I think this is honestly the most unlikely, and I hate that. And the third, and this might sound crazy, but Vegito hasn't been here in a long time, and it is so clearly his time to come back and be a part of something. And so it would not surprise me if there's something to do here with Super Vegito, and they either pair him with Omega to fit the GT bill, or they pair him with some form of a Buu that involves Buuhan, that involves Kid Buu, something of that nature. So let's talk if they keep it Spirit Bomb theme. The two, which I've seen everyone talk about and I agree with, are a Namek Saga Goku that does the Spirit Bomb, and of course the one from the TOP, which we kind of already have in the form of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. And we also have the Spirit Bomb that's actually part of the STR Goku, the Super Saiyan Transforming Goku Super Attack as well, but it's definitely a much needed updated version. And even the Kaioken Goku also, there's a lot more they could still do with that. And they could possibly incorporate the standby skill that we had from part 1 and put that into the part 2, especially since the thing I've not mentioned here is I think it is highly likely that these units that will be coming for part 2 are going to be Carnival LRs. And even more likely than that, they could be separate banners. Like, we could genuinely be looking at a anniversary that has 4 LRs that all have their own separate banners, because we haven't had the return of Metal Cooler yet, and we haven't had the return of the first ever Carnival LR, the Super Saiyan Goku, both of which are still meta defining. Well, Goku more than Cooler, but I think a lot of people are very harsh on the physical Cooler. I still like the physical Carnival Cooler a lot, but it is very clear that Tech Carnival Goku is one of the best units in the game still right now, literally like a top 5 unit pretty much. But they need to return somehow, and so if it ends up being a gold coin top banner, first off, I don't think they'll be nearly as good. They will be way better if they're Carnival LRs. Secondly, where exactly do the Carnival LRs that came out from Worldwide Celebration, both of which the Worldwide Celebration Dokkan Fests are featured on the part 1 Dokkan Fest banners, again, more signs pointing to these being Carnival LRs. And I think the whole purpose of them introducing Carnival LRs is to do something like, oh, guess what? These are Carnival LRs. They have 200% leader abilities. They are absolutely cracked. They're way better than Gold Coin LRs. So guess what? 2 LRs, 2 banners, go summon. Choose which one you want more. Namek Saga Goku could work exactly like the Majin Buu Saga Goku and Vegeta we have right now, and he would exchange out into, say, like Piccolo or Krillin or both, charge up the Spirit Bomb, fire the Spirit Bomb. Then on the flip side from TOP, same thing, you just switch out into like Vegeta and it works the same way. They could do like a revival as well in some sort of way too. Something that maybe takes it into UI. There's a lot they could still do here with just the Spirit Bomb related stuff. We could sit here and theory craft for a long time, but I think that is the general consensus of what people think they might would do with the Spirit Bomb if they continue the Spirit Bomb related theme into part 2. And honestly, would it surprise anybody? No. It's the main characters of the game back again, more LRs, Carnival LRs. It just makes sense. The second one I mentioned, Kid Buu, Omega, same thing. And I still think they would be Carnival LRs. This is the one I think I want to happen the most. I mean, do I want to see more TOP related stuff? Yes. I love the Tournament of Power. Do I want to see more Namek Saga? Sure. I'd be more excited to see what they would do with a UI Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta card that's together, that has like a new standby mechanic and all of that fun stuff. But for the sake of just villains needing more love, for the sake of honestly needing buffs for the Boos, they need just a really good 200% lead that encapsulates all of them. And then also Omega. The issue with Omega is realistically, he won't even have any good teams anyway. So it's like, you want him and he'll be sick, but he won't have a really good supporting cast, because that side banner unit that they released in the form of Nova and Ice is just not very good. So I want to see it. They need the love. There's not much more to explain there. Lastly, my other idea, a Super Vegito. Now, realistically, you'd want them to be able to work with the Worldwide Celebration Goku and Vegeta that transforms into Super Vegito, who I actually think has a really high chance of EZAing during this celebration. Buuhan and the STR Super Vegito, I think, are both going to EZA before the celebration is over. I think it just makes the most sense. They both very much so need it. The thing I was thinking about for a while now is that as they move forward with the standby skill, now that that's a thing, technically both fusions, Patara and Dance, are limited. Now, I don't want to see them go in this direction for every single fusion character, because I don't want to have a limited turn count with said characters. But a fusion, the idea of fusing works very well into this standby ability. The fact that you could technically start out as a Goku and a Vegeta, you then stand by into an actual fusion, and then you're just this like super cracked out being for like 5 turns that should theoretically finish off the job, is kind of cool. That actually sounds really cool if they make it worth, right? A Carnival LR already should be super busted. Then you add the idea of it being a Goku and Vegeta that stand by into Super Vegito. That sounds awesome if done right. I wouldn't want that to be the future of every fusion type of character, but thrown around here and there, the thing they do to basically finish off a fight anyway, and it's so powerful that it truly finishes them off, that sounds awesome. And that could be partnered with some form of a Boo, especially after seeing what they did with Majin Vegeta. The Bobbity that goes into Majin Vegeta, you could do a very similar thing with Buuhan, Super Boo into Buuhan, all of that. There's a lot they can do now with standby skills. It opens up the concept of characters substantially, I feel like. And the last thing as we go into part 2 are the EZAs. Now, this is a really cool graphic made here by Misaka, showing that in the past, we've had a sort of hint at units that would EZA. So like right here, we ended up getting UI Goku. Right here, we ended up getting these two specifically from year 7. Same thing from the actual Worldwide Celebration. And now here we're on year 8. Every unit in this picture is, well, actually not every unit. Turles hasn't. These two have EZA'd, and we have the Spirit Bomb Goku. So it'd be a pretty good chance that we could see Spirit Bomb Goku EZA at some point. As I already mentioned before, I really think these two are massive candidates for potentially getting EZAs. As far as if they don't EZA, the other worthy Majin Buu Saga units are the Intelligent Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku and the Tech Majin Vegeta. I think those two are definitely very much so ready for their EZAs. And so if it's not going to be the LR Super Vegito and LR Buuhan, then I definitely think it will for sure be these two, because these two are very much so ready to get an EZA. Now, as far as GT, that's where it gets a little more complicated, because there's just not a lot left in GT, at least that's hype, that needs an EZA. Obviously, Baby needs one bad, but I have to imagine a Baby is around the corner. Like a Dokkan Fest Baby has to be in the next probably 12 to 24 months for sure. So I think you EZA him during that. But if they need a partner to a GT hero, which they have several they could do, honestly, the Goku and the Vegeta, I know they're only barely coming up on 2 years old, but I definitely think they're worthy of an EZA at this point. They could definitely use one. The Intelligent Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta could also use one. Obviously, some of these random side banner units can definitely still use them too, but typically they're grabbing like main, previously big headlining units. That's kind of how where we're at. They did so much last year, man. The LRSSJ4s EZAing last year and not this year, kind of crazy. It was not expected at all. Like when you look at all the LRs, wait, every LR has EZA'd. Every LR here, except for the new one, has EZA'd because they EZA'd them on launch and everyone else has EZA'd. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, so it's so slim pickings out here as far as like what you can do with EZAs for part 2, especially since they already did the full power SSJ4. My guess as far as heroes goes, you really just have, unless I'm not thinking of one, the Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the Int Vegeta, and the physical Goku. But I look forward to seeing what's happening, what all they do for the rest of this celebration. That's the video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.